guys, welcome to my TV guide. I'm Alta, and it's been a solid 3 weeks now, 4 weeks now, because today's Monday, since I watched Sleepy Hollow. And I didn't fall behind because of anything like, boredom or protesting or irritation or anything like that. I just have been busy with work, and so I've been tired. And so I've chosen not to watch the episodes because I know when I watch them, I need to really be paying attention so that I can review them after. So I've fallen behind, but I marathoned the episodes yesterday, Sunday, and so now I'm going to talk about them. So the episodes were Deliverance, Heartless, and Mama. Starting with Deliverance. Okay, so the big takeaway from all of the episodes, my big takeaway from the new bombshell development that these episodes gave me is why. So in Deliverance, because she was pregnant, we knew this, and it turns out she was pregnant with Moloch. Why does Moloch need to be born or reborn in order to come into our world? Because my memory tells me, hey, Alta, they already showed us in season 1 when Jenny and Abby were in the woods, they saw Moloch. He was in our world. He's the one who said to them, come and see. So I don't understand this. So they just kind of like dropped this development. There was no build up to it. For the longest time, we had no idea what Moloch was planning out there in Purgatory. And they just dropped this development on us. And I'm like, I feel like that needed a little bit of a build up. But apparently Moloch was playing everything close to the chest. But I don't understand why he needs to be born. Why he needed to be born into our world. And why does he want to be in our world? Because considering the magnitude of this entire thing, to me, it feels like it should be like, okay, he's here. He can't go back to Purgatory. You know what I mean? One-way door. Okay, since apparently he couldn't come to our world before, now we're saying it should be a one-way door. Either you're in Purgatory or you're here. Like, oh, I guess, is it because Abby and Ichabod destroyed the door, and so he needed this complicated way to come into our world? What kind of mess is that if that's the case? I hope that's not the case, but I feel like that could be the explanation of why he needed to be born to come into our world. But dang, what a complicated process. And so then, what about when he needs to go back to Purgatory? And then what about when he needs to come back here to do business? I just feel like, why does he want to be here right now? For what? He's got Henry on this side, handling things. What? Is it just like, because it just feels like, shouldn't he be working on bringing about the third horseman? I don't completely understand it. I don't think at all that this is necessary, like this is a necessary development. What are they going to do with both Henry and Moloch here? And plus, now, this version of Moloch is a child. So are we going to be watching Henry get bossed around by some kid? A mess. Just a mess. Like, it just doesn't feel strong to me. It doesn't feel like a strong development. It kind of just feels like they threw it in there just for the surprise. But tonight is the first half of the winter finale or the fall finale or whatever. So we'll see how what they managed to do with it. I don't expect them to do much with it, considering it just happened, but we shall see. So that was the major takeaway from the Deliverance. Oh, also Ichabod flip-flop. He ended last episode saying, you know what, Abby, seeing you with Joe like that, I think Henry can be saved. And he starts this episode talking about some, I feel like they had him flip-flop just so they could create that tension between him, Katrina, and Abby. And I didn't need it. Just have him agree with Katrina, like he seemed to do at the end of last episode. And so then he changed his mind. Oh, he's looking at Katrina, rolling his eyes and all that stuff. And then, by the end of the episode, he reaches the same damn conclusion that he had reached in the last episode. That wasn't necessary. They backtracked for nothing, just to have that little bit of disagreement between him, to show him being pulled between the two or whatever. And not even in a romantic way, but just for the tension. It wasn't needed. Abby, I was praying for her strength. She's so amazing. She's so brave. All the work she was doing while Ichabod was babysitting Katrina. Well, I mean, he wasn't really babysitting her, but he was staying with her, which was understandable, what she went and got is done. So the next episode was Heartless, with the succubus. And she was pretty scary. Her like demon face was super, super scary. So Katrina got saved in Deliverance thanks to this Aurora Borealis Northern Lights crystal thingamajig. So we think that's over, that's done with the baby. No, turns out he still got saved. How? They don't explain. Where did he get transferred to? He wasn't born, so how did he come out of Katrina's stomach? Anyone got an answer for that? I mean, this whole thing was, it seemed anyway that he was going to burst out of her stomach, but no bursting happened. You know, he was stretching, but nothing happened. So how did he get out? But he did get out. And so Henry summoned the succubus, who, her real name is something Tada. I want to say Encantada, Encantada, something like that. She has no heart, therefore she has no desires, and so she preys on other people's, and she has fun doing it. So now the whole tension conflict thing continued. So Katrina's on this side. We had a cute little scene between her and Ichabod in the opening of the episode where they were watching The Bachelor, and I knew from the moment Ichabod started to talk, he's like, love is supposed to be this. I'm like, I bet you he's gonna make a comment about The Bachelor. And what do you know? Him and Katrina were watching The Bachelor, and then Katrina asked Abby about other reality shows, and Abby was like, I'd love to, talk to you about the Housewives and all that stuff, but I got work to do. And so Abby was beginning to feel some kind of way in this episode, because it's one thing to have to deal with Ichabod's delusions regarding Henry. Now she has to deal with Katrina too. And so it kind of came to a head in this episode, later on in the episode, where she was looking at Katrina like, when she was already looking at her like that in the last episode, but in this episode she was like this again. And I love that she was upfront about it. She was vocal about it. She was blunt about it. She was like, listen, Henry is my problem. He's my problem. Hello, the man is trying to, not only, it's one thing if you and Ichabod want to play with the fact that he wants to kill y'all, but he completely wants to kill me. Like, there's no risk, no possibility. Like, if there's no possibility of him changing his mind in terms of killing you guys, there is zero possibility of him, like, coming around and warming up in terms of me. So I completely got where she was coming from. Katrina made no sense. Ichabod made no sense. But Abby was like, I'm a witness. Like, this family matters thing, no. We're not going to do Full House. No. Trying to get Henry to come live in the cabin too? Absolutely not. He's a problem. My role as a witness says he needs to be destroyed. Not only is he a problem because he's Henry, he's a horseman. But, so she went head to head with Katrina on that. Ichabod got in the middle to try to mediate, but boy, you did a better job when it was Abby and Jenny fighting in season 1, because at least then, they were both like doing too much, right and wrong, all that stuff. But with Katrina and Abby was in the right. Stop. Like, he sounded ridiculous when he was like, hey, come on, you guys, and all that stuff. He needed to quit. So, then they split up, and Abby went off with Katrina, of course. She was like, and so then she suggests that Ichabod go with Holly, and Ichabod was like, why? So Abby and Katrina go off, and Katrina tries to talk to her, and he's like, I know you think I'm delusional. I know you think I'm, ridiculous. And Katrina's like, and also, Abby was like, and also condescending. And so Katrina tries to make her case. She has none, but she's like, it's my son, blah, blah, blah. And so they go to find, their mission was to find the succubus's heart. And Ichabod and Holly's part was, don't do anything until the women tell you that they have the heart. But by the time Ichabod shot the thing, he didn't know whether or not they had the heart. So there was that. So Katrina started casting the spell and stuff, but then I feel like because the succubus was pretending to be her, she was kind of linked to Katrina. So when, I think it was Ichabod who stabbed her, Katrina felt it and she fell. So then Abby completed the spell, which again, in this world, anyone can say a spell. So because of that, when Ichabod made the case when the women were arguing that we're stronger. This is exactly what Team Evil wants. We're two witnesses and a powerful witch. They want there to be discord between us and all that stuff. We're better with Katrina here. And so then Abby during the resolution says Ichabod's right. We're stronger by having you. And Katrina did pull her weight in this episode. Yeah, Abby ended up doing the same spell that she was doing, no biggie, but she was, number one, she figured out that Moloch was born because she's still linked to him. And also, she helped them track the succubus because she was having visions and all that stuff. And also, in the previous episode, she had put up a hex that would let them know when Henry's goons were going to show up and all that stuff. So she's been pulling her weight. But the whole powerful witch thing, I still feel like they're overselling it a little bit, but at least they're letting her be a witch. Now they're letting her be a witch. Thank God they heard me, in terms of that. So then Katrina's still hell-bent on saving Henry and Jeremy, whatever. And so her big plan, she tells Abby, is to go back to Henry and Abraham and all that stuff and kill Moloch. Huge endeavor she's about to take by herself, but she tells Abby to tell Ichabod. And when she said that, I was like, at the very beginning of this episode, you were like, I know things have been like tense between us because of my lie and all that stuff. There was also a part in this episode where she said to Ichabod, oh, do you have like chai tea? That's not what it was, but do you have like bergamot tea, whatever? And Ichabod was like, no. And she was like, oh, it's just that Abraham used to get me some when I was in the cabin. That was kind of weird to me. It sounded like she was trying to, I know that's not what it was, but it was just so random. And then, Ichabod's reaction too, it was like, kind of like she was trying to get Ichabod to be competitive, but I know that's not what it was. But there was no reason for her to say that. It's just that, what else would you start it like that? It's just that Abraham used to get it from me, so, and there was this whole thing about, was the baby Abraham's, and Ichabod was looking like, is karma coming to bite me, considering me and Katrina screwed Abraham over when we were getting together. But whatever. Anyways, back to Heartless. So, yes, when Katrina says that her plan is to go back and try to kill Moloch, she's not going to tell Ichabod. I'm like, y'all at the beginning of the episode said, honesty from now on, cards on the table, no secrets. But, it didn't go the way I thought. I thought Ichabod was going to get mad and hurt and all that stuff, and we were going to have to revisit this, but he understood. He said that, I'm beginning to accept, or I have to accept that Katrina's a big girl, just like Abby had told him, which is why I wasn't here for him saying, this is all my fault, and deliverance, this is all my fault. I should have never let you go stay with Abraham. But it's like, Abby told him already, it's her decision. I know where he's from and all that stuff, but come on. He already has that bad habit of taking on guilt when it's not necessary, and just so he can angst and whatever. So yeah, so he's like, I have to accept her role. She's a big girl. She's a powerful witch. She has a role to play in this whole apocalypse thing too. So let me fall back and let her do what she's gonna do. And so then we move on to, also there was some Holly stuff with him having a crush on Abby. It almost got him killed, but unfortunately we weren't lucky enough and he lived. So moving on to Mama. I like all of these episodes, by the way, but of course Mama had me the most riveted. So we finally meet Abby and Jenny's mom. We find out what happened to her. So her committing suicide was not completely suicide. It was like assisted suicide. Not even, because the woman, the nurse, forgot her last name, she played in Lori, I think her name was, Mama's head. Did you guys see the movie Mama? I think it came out last year. It was such a good movie by, I don't remember the director's name, or was it the producer? A good movie. The audience sucked when I went to go see it, but the movie itself was great. Great, scary horror movie. So, So yes, Lori Mills was a soldier. I was like, yes, she's been watching over the girls this whole time. She watched over Jenny when she was in Tarrytown. She watched over Abby when she was in Purgatory. It was freaking beautiful, the emotions. Then Hartley showed up and I was like, can we not? But thankfully he didn't intrude too much. Ichabod was sick. I was excited about that. He was sick, which meant the action was gonna take place between Abby and Jenny. And you know, Ichabod with the Mill sisters, it's fine. I love their dynamic, the OT3 of them. I love it, but I didn't mind the fact that the writers made him sick so that Abby and Jenny could deal with this. Abby went straight to Jenny and was like, you know, I could use your expertise and all that stuff. And then they brought in Holly, and I was like, no, you did great with making Ichabod sick. Don't bring in Holly to replace him. But it was Abby who called him, and so what happened was, Lori Mills was haunted. Well, she was persecuted by demons, same as Jenny was. And so she always wanted to keep the girls safe. She always knew about Abby's destiny. She was like, out of all of us, you're the one who's going to make it. You're the one who's meant for big things. It's so sad. It's so sad that she didn't have the support that Abby has with Ichabod and with Jenny and with Irving, and also she didn't have the support that Jenny now has, because for the longest time Jenny didn't have the support because Abby did what she thought was she took what she thought was the best course of action. It's super sad. For the longest time Jenny was super scared of her. She didn't trust her. Not even now. She was like, even when she was trying to protect us, she tried to kill us. And then they showed us that scene of what I thought was going to be a murder-suicide she tried to commit. She locked her and Jenny in the car, and she turned it on, and so the carbon dioxide was seeping into the car. But it turns out it was a demon that was making her do it. And when she realized what was up, Jenny was passed out in the back of the car. She tried to get them out, and then she turned in the car, she backed the hell out of the garage and saved them. And she saved Jenny. And so Jenny learned that too, and it was freaking beautiful. And so because Jenny didn't trust her, and Abby was like, no, we're gonna learn the truth. Abby took on the case. And by the way, she's in good with Reyes now because she helped Reyes take down this satanic cult from Heartlet Deliverance. So she's in good standing with Reyes. And so Abby took the case because she wanted to find out, why am I a witness? What did you know? What's your real story and all that stuff? Because for the longest time, Abby kind of shunned her mother because she was like, I don't want to be crazy. I don't want to go crazy because there's Mama in Tarrytown. Now Jenny's in Tarrytown. I'm next. It's just a question of when. So she took this case because she wanted to get to know her mom on a human level. And Jenny, who had the most in common with their mother, didn't want anything to do with her because she remembered her as this threat, this person who made her scared. And I love that, you saw in the flashback when the girls were talking to Lori, Abby would put her hands in front of Jenny to kind of protect her just in case. And when the mom showed up as a ghost and they were in that room, Abby put her hand in front of Jenny to protect her just in case. I loved it. And so because of Jenny's distrust, I thought it was perfect that she was the one who summoned Lori when the time came. And this was after she read the spell, this West African spell, and she saved both Abby and her mom. And so she summons the mom. I don't know why Ichabod and Holly were needed, but she summons the mom, and they get to talk to her, and they're emotional, and they're crying, and they're like, we can save you, and that stuff, tell us how to save you. And Lori says, you already did. She's her two girls. Oh, it was perfect. It was freaking perfect. And the girls got emotional, and then they hugged each other, and Ichabod and Holly were just standing there. But yeah, so those were the episodes. Deliverance, Heartless, and Mama. Mama especially was the best one, of course, and that was my fave. And just watching them in this episode, I'm just like, Kana, if you're watching, she's always talking about how Jenny is the real second witness, or first witness, whatever. She's the other witness, not Ichabod. And watching this episode, there's no no reason why she couldn't be. Yeah, Sleepy Hollow, blah, blah. Ichabod could have been someone who's in the journals. You know what I mean? It, like, Jenny would make such a great, like, imagine if we had the two witnesses were these sisters, and they had all their issues to work through, and they had to navigate their relationship while also navigating the evil and the apocalypse and all that stuff. But that's not the case. We have the second best thing, which is the fact that the show cares about their relationship and revisits it, continuously. So that's my review of the episode. I don't believe I'm forgetting anything. Oh yes, the second best. She was stealing the desires and all that stuff, and I guess that was powering her and Henry's desire to see Moloch rise or something like that. I think that was the logistics behind her actions and Henry summoning her and all that jazz. So that's it. Also, in Mama, Ichabod snapped on Abby, saying, because Abby made a comment like, I guess Katrina still hasn't defeated Moloch. And for the first time, I was like, yeah, Ichabod has a point. What was her comment about? She was like, oh, I just mean we haven't heard from her. But it's like, why'd you say it like that? Like, because I'm like, you guys have not defeated Moloch yet either. And you're the witnesses, and there's two of you. I know Katrina has her magic, but Ichabod and Abby can read spells too, so it's like, that was completely unnecessary. There's no reason why Katrina should have killed Moloch by now after the 2 days or whatever that she's been back. So, for once, Ichabod had a point in regards to like him snapping, and what he didn't actually do the most. He did just enough. He did the appropriate amount. So, thank you guys for watching. Comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know out of the three which was your favorite: Deliverance, Heartless, or Mama. And just let me know what you thought of each. Let me know what you think about this whole Moloch needs to be born thing. He needs to be born or reborn. Let me know what you think of that. Let me know about your theories regarding that. And just talk to me in the comments. And I will see you guys for the review of tonight's episode. Probably sometime this weekend, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Bye.